depending upon the where we stopped. Yeah. If you add a substance to the two immiscible liquid mixture, what will happen depending upon the polarity or depending upon the interaction between the solvents or the liquids, the substituent added will be distributed between these two phases. How it will be distributed? If the substance is having more polarity, it will be more distributed in aqueous phase and less distributed in organic phase. Or if the substance is having more non-polar nature, it will be more distributed in organic phase, it will be less distributed in aqueous phase. How much amount of the partitioning is taking place or distribution is taking place? It will be indicated by partitioning. Partitioning means in both the phases how it is sharing or distributing in between the two phases of liquids. Okay, depending upon the quantities that are distributed in within the phases, that partition ratio will be calculated for determination of partition coefficient. How the ratio will be determined? That ratio K will be given as the ratio between the concentration of the substance present in the organic liquid and the substance concentration of the substance present in the aqueous liquid. Okay, those will be given as C1 and C2. C1 and C2 are the equilibrium concentrations of the substance in solvent 1 and solvent 2. Then at equilibrium condition, if you take the ratio between C1 and C2, the ratio will be given as K is equal to C1 divided by C2. Here, this equation is given as distribution law. Distribution law means how much amount is distributed between the two liquid phases. Okay, and the equation constant that is given K is given as equilibrium constant, that is distribution ratio or distribution coefficient, or it is also called as partition coefficient. The constant that is obtained by taking the ratio of concentration of the substance in the organic liquid and concentration of the substance in the aqueous liquid is given as partition coefficient. Okay, and how to calculate this one? How the partition coefficient will affect the nature of the solute? How the partition coefficient will be useful? What are the applications of partition coefficient? And this partition coefficient will be very much useful, is very much important for our pharmaceutical field. Why? Because this will give the information about nature of the substance. Nature means whether it is hydrophilic or lipophilic. Okay, and solubility of the substance means in which solvent it will be soluble. Based upon the partition coefficient values, you can assess the solubility pattern of the substance also. And not only these two parameters, you can you can determine or you can estimate the distribution of the drug within the body also. Throughout the body, how the drug will be distributed. Okay, how to estimate this one? For knowing that, if the partition coefficient of the substance, the oil water partition coefficient of the substance will indicate the hydrophilic or hydrophobic characteristic nature of the drug molecule. How it will be given? If K value is more, if K value is more, it will be given as more lipophilic in nature. More lipophilic, less hydrophilic, and it will be less soluble in water. If K is less, K means partition coefficient is less, it indicates more hydrophilic, less lipophilic, and more soluble in water. Okay, why it is like this? How to calculate K value? K value can be calculated by using this equation. What is that equation? K is equal to C1 divided by C2. C1 indicates the concentration of the solute or the substance in organic phase. Concentration of the substance in organic phase, that is given as C1. And C2 will be given as concentration of the substance in the aqueous phase. C1 is the concentration of the substance in organic phase and C2 is concentration of the substance in the aqueous phase. If this ratio C1 by C2 is equal to K, we given this as a K. If K value is more than 1 indicates what? C1 means numerator value is more. It in turn indicates more numerator value means more organic phase. Organic phase contains more concentration of the substituent. Means the substance which is added to the mixture is more concentrated in the organic phase. Organic phase more concentration means it is having less affinity towards the aqueous phase. Means the concentration present in the aqueous phase is very less. Because of that reason only the total fraction value is more. Because of the more total fraction value, the partition coefficient value also more. If the partition coefficient value is more, the total lipophilicity, the particular nature of the particular compound is lipophilic in nature. Lipophilic means lipid loving, organic phase loving. Organic phase loving means it is having less water solubility. That's what only we expressed here. K is more lipophilic and less hydrophilic and less soluble in water. If K is less means C2, concentration in the aqueous phase is more. Concentration in the aqueous phase is more means the denomination value is more. The denomination value is more means the total value of the fraction is becoming less. So what will happen? The total value of K is very less. If the K is less, it indicates the substance is more hydrophilic in nature and or as well as it is also called as less lipophilic. So it is more soluble in water. Okay, this is about this is what partition coefficient, how to express partition coefficient, how to know the partition coefficient, what is the what is the application of partition coefficient in our pharmaceutical perspective. If the partition coefficient of the drug is more, what will happen? The drug will be distributed in the body and more located in the lipid tissues. The drug will be distributed throughout the body, no doubt in it. But the drug will be distributed or it will be concentrated in the lipid tissues when compared to the normal ordinary tissues of the body. Okay, if the partition coefficient of the drug is less, the drug will not distributed in the lipid tissues, it will be located in the aqueous tissues of the body. Is it clear? Within the body, all the components of the cell body is made up of cells. The cell wall is made up of lipids. The cell wall is made up of lipids. If the drug is having only the aqueous nature or only aqueous solubility, what will happen? This drug will not have any affinity towards the lipid material. Means the drug will not cross the cell membrane at all. Okay, if the drug is completely aqueous in nature, it will not cross cell membrane at all. Then what will happen? If the drug is not crossing the cell membrane and it will not enter the cell, it will not exert the activity at the site of action. So, for that purpose, to elicit the drug action for a particular activity, the drug must have a proper or sufficient lipophilic nature. Okay, the drug must have sufficient lipophilicity. Why? Because if the drug is not having the lipophilic nature, it will not attached with the lipophilic barrier of the cell membrane and it will not cross the cell membrane. Okay, so to cross the cell membranes, to absorb into the cells of the body tissues, the drug must have a certain extent of lipophilic nature. As well as, and after entering the cell, all the cellular contents are aqueous in nature. Cell wall is lipophilic in nature and the cell contents are hydrophilic in nature. If the drug is having only lipophilicity, it will enter the cell very easily, but it will fail to dissolve in the cell contents. If the drug is not dissolved or solubilized in the cellular contents, then also it will not show any action. So, for that reason, the whatever the drug material or the drug component or the drug molecule you have prepared or we have, it should have certain lipophilic nature and certain amount of hydrophilic nature. The lipophilic nature of the drug will be useful to cross the cell membrane, lipoidal cell membrane, and hydrophilic nature of the drug molecule will be useful to solubilize in the cellular aqueous cellular contents of the cell. By that way, it will be easily absorbed by the cell as well as it will be easily distributed or carried to in the body systems. By that way, it will elicit the action. Okay, that is the importance of partition coefficient. Partition coefficient will give the complete information about hydrophilic and lipophilic nature of the particular drug molecule. Okay, if the drug is having more lipophilic nature, more partition coefficient, it will be crossing the cell membrane, but it is unable to dissolve in the cellular contents. Okay, if the drug is completely lipohydrophilic, it will not cross the cell membrane. Why? Because cell membrane is completely lipoidal in nature. Okay, this is that is the importance of partition coefficient.